If your entire financial security depends on your marriage working out, this video is for you. Sometimes our marriages work out and sometimes they don't. Because I've seen way too many women give up their careers, stay home for years, and then be left with no skills, no money, and no plan when the marriage, or if the marriage fails or falls apart, or the kids grow up and they leave home. I'm not here to shame you. I am here to wake you up and share some wisdom with you. Welcome back to Her Money with Reese, where we help women rise dollar by dollar. I am Reese. I'm a certified financial coach, and I'm also certified as a YNAB budget coach. And today we're having a real conversation that might ruffle a few feathers, but it's one that we need to have. It's one that no one had with me prior to getting married. Well, I guess that's not exactly the truth. There were people that did try to talk to me, but back then, in the 80s and the 90s, we didn't really know how to talk directly to each other. So the things that my grandmother was trying to explain to me, I did not perceive it well. But now when I look back over my journey and look back over the relationship that I had with her, I understand exactly what she was trying to say to me. I know firsthand what it feels like to put everyone else first and lose sight of yourself. Motherhood, it is a calling, but so is purpose, and so is financial wisdom. Being a stay-at-home mom, it is a beautiful thing, but it's risky if you don't have a plan B. So this is where I might ruffle some feathers. I didn't know that I still had emotion related to when my parents divorced. But when I was creating content for this conversation, I got teary-eyed, my heart rate sped up, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? And so what I realized is that a lot of what I'm feeling and a lot of my ideology came from what happened to me as a child. So I'm pretty sure I was maybe in the 4th grade or 5th grade when my parents got divorced. And so when my mom, when she got divorced, we ended up having to go live with my grandparents. And my grandparents had to support us totally. My mother didn't have a driver's license. At the time, she worked in a factory. She did not have a car. She did not have any financial means to support us at all. It was myself and my brother. And so while doing this content, I realized that maybe I did not heal from that. Maybe because of that experience is what made me be the way that I am today. So my husband and I, we've been married for 33 years. And we stayed married for almost 7 years before we had our first child. And let me tell you why that was. Somehow, in some way, it got ingrained in me that I would not have any children without a way of being able to protect myself and my children in the event that my husband decided to leave or if our marriage didn't work out. So I proceeded to get my education. So I am also a registered nurse. And so I knew with my degree and with my experience, if anything ever happened and my husband decided that he didn't want the marriage anymore, or I decided that I didn't want the marriage anymore, I would have a means of taking care of myself and my children. I guess from when I was a child, I saw the rug being pulled from under my mom, and she had no way, no route. If it had not been for my grandparents, honestly, I have no clue where we would be today. So if this conversation today ruffles your feathers, I ask you in advance to forgive me that we all have our journey. That's why I am building a sisterhood, a community where we can share our feelings and we can talk about money in ways that maybe you haven't heard from your friends, or maybe you didn't hear growing up, or maybe you haven't heard from your family. So the way that I experienced life, I grew up having a plan B in my brain. And maybe you didn't grow up that way. So I'm asking you to have an open mind as I go through this content. And if you have any feelings about it, please put your comments in the description. Leave your comments because your story can help someone else. It's not just me. It's not just my story, but you, sister, can help another woman with your story. And so I've heard so many stories. I've seen so many women who stayed home for 10 years, 15, even 20 years. Then their husbands decide to leave, and they were left with no work history, no retirement savings, and no idea how to financially survive. And just on top of that, you have to grieve the loss of losing your marriage. At the time when they got married, even myself, maybe you thought that love would protect you. Maybe the women who are experiencing this thought that love would protect them. But in some cases, love doesn't always last. And it shouldn't be your financial plan, because we all grow, we all change. And I can tell you from experience, my husband and I, we are not the same people that we were when we got married 33 years ago. We change. So when you stop earning, you stop building your own financial identity. You stop investing in your retirement. You stop being seen as marketable in the workplace. And the longer you're out, the harder it is to get back. The harder it is to go back. So I'm going to tell you my story. When we had our children, our first daughter, who is now 26 years old, and because I was a nurse, I was blessed in that aspect. I went back to work, and I worked until she was 18 months old so that we could get our debt paid off, so that I could get rid of my student loan. So when we had our second child, which is now 23, we were in a position that I could stay home with them. But even at that age, I was maybe 30, 31, I had no clue really how important it was to invest in my retirement account. So while I stayed home with our children, I was not invested in no retirement account. I wasn't saving any money and putting anything aside. My entire being was raising our children. And even in that, which it has absolutely nothing to do with this discussion, I even put our marriage on the shelf because I was completely sold out to being the mother that they needed me to be. Well, being the mother that I thought that I needed to be. Nothing else mattered except I wanted to be this, I guess, book mom. I wanted to be this perfect mom. And I put all of my financial identity aside. So now that my girls are all grown up, and by the time I was 31, I realized how important it was to save for retirement. But it felt like I had gotten behind because I didn't do it when I was raising our girls. So now let's talk just a little bit about the moment that no one prepares us for. The day your kids, I don't like to call them kids, but it's in the habit to call them kids, but the day your children, your young adults, what happens when they don't need you anymore? You've spent 20 years being mom, mommy, mama. But sister, who are you now? I got lost in that myself. I lost myself when I was raising my girls. Yes, I was a nurse and I was keeping my license active. I was working once a month so that I could keep my license active, so that I could stay up to date on my skills. But what do you do when the house is quiet and you realize you gave up everything and you built nothing for yourself? Honestly, I can't say I built anything for myself because my main focus was raising the girls. Like, honestly, when I look back on it, it was not, it was an unintelligent move. Like, honestly, I don't even think I pictured them moving out and being on their own. Like, even when we bought our house, I think, based on them being here forever. And they're not here forever. They're not here now. It's just my husband and I. So then what do you do? And based on my experience and based on all the women now that are going through being left by their husbands, and even the ones who stay with their husbands and their children are all grown and they've gone out, here are some things I'm asking you to think about. Because one of the reasons why I created this channel is so that I can help women build their money dollar by dollar. And also, I truly believe if I can help you from making the same decisions and the same mistakes that I made, I believe God is going to bless that. And you have a story too. Again, I ask you, if you have a story or if you've experienced anything that we're discussing today, please drop it in the comments. Let's get this conversation going. So what I recommend for you stay-at-home moms, whether you have a good marriage, whether your husband is home, whether your children are home now, keep your name on every single thing. I mean the bank accounts, your investments, house titles, and if you are a stay-at-home mom and your husband is working, is he willing to open up an RA for you so that he can put money in this account for you every single month so that you will have a retirement plan? And do you know, um, we lived in Virginia, very close friends. I may even send them this video. But her mom, Miss Pelham, my friend and I, Jackie, we were stay-at-home mom, and I will never forget. She said, "You two are staying home. Is your husband invested in your retirement?" And you know what? At the time, my husband was not invested in a retirement account for me. We didn't know to do that. And because we really was not making that much money, and I had stopped work to take care of the children, we didn't have that much money. Yet I did not grasp why she said, "Is your husband putting in some money for your retirement account?" Because you know why? She raised her children alone without a husband. So she knew how important it was for my friend and I, Jackie, to have a retirement account, but still I didn't grasp it. So even without a full-time income, your husband can still invest in a Roth IRA for you. So I'm asking you, okay, you're staying at home with your children, you're married, your marriage is going fine, but I'm recommending to you to learn a skill, part-time, online, something that's flexible. You can do something such as medical billing. You can have your own business doing that. You can become a virtual assistant. You can do that part-time. You can do coding. You can do bookkeeping. You can do content creation. Start yourself a side hustle. Build while you are a parent so that when your children leave home, you won't be left with an empty bag. You'll have a purpose. You'll be able to go on and not be so lonely and not try to figure yourself out. You can do YouTube. You can do coaching. You can sell things on Etsy. You can do some teaching. I'm just encouraging you, never stop learning. Books, courses, certifications. Keep your mind sharp and keep your confidence high. You don't need a full-time job, but I'm telling you, you do need options. And so maybe I'm sharing these things with you because of what's ingrained in me due to my childhood, but it's okay because I feel like it can still bless you. And then when women stay home, how much of yourself are you giving up when you do this? And so I'll say, for example, my daughter, I have absolutely no problems with it. It's none of my business. She's a stay-at-home mom. She has 3 small children. My son works. He is saving for them. Okay. But what about when your children grow up and they leave and go to college or they live to go live their lives? What are you going to have? What type of skills are you going to have to be able to go out and get a job? Or what skills are you going to have to where you can start a side hustle? So I'm just encouraging you to just take some time and look at your life. Maybe you can do this when you're driving in the car. Maybe you can do this while you're in the shower. But I'm telling you, you're not here by accident. You're not watching this video by accident. When you get some time, I want you to just take some time and think about, okay, my marriage is doing well. I'm happy. I'm content. My children are in 2nd grade, 3rd grade. I'm content. Sister, look at the big picture. Look beyond your children being at home. Do not lose yourself and lose who you are being a wife and a mom. I did. So that's why I'm here. I don't want that to happen to you. It's about freedom. It's about protecting your peace. It's your future and it's your voice. No matter what happens, you are not being selfish for wanting security, and you're not wrong for preparing. In my mind, which I could be wrong, it's just my opinion, that you're right in preparing. Love your family, but don't lose yourself. If you are a stay-at-home mom, I see you. I was you. I respect you. But sister, protect yourself too. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if women do stay home without a backup plan, is this wise? And see, I'm a Christian, and in my mind, and based on my understanding of the Word of God, the woman is supposed to manage the home, and the wife stays home to manage the home. And the husband goes out and he makes the money, bring it in, and the wife manages it. But what happens if that husband changes his mind and he don't want to do this anymore? What happens to the wife? What happens to the mother? So I need us to get this conversation started, because whatever you say in the comments, it may be healing for me. It may change my perspective. But should we, as stay-at-home moms, not have a backup plan in the event that our marriage does not work out? And if God says so, your children are going to grow up and they are going to leave home. That's why you're doing such a good job raising them. I would love to know your thoughts on this. Should we as women have a backup plan? Are we not following the Bible when we don't have a backup plan? I'm asking you, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification button so that you will know every single time that I'm on here with a new video. Because guess what? We are here rising dollar by dollar. And I refuse to believe that we cannot create a sisterhood where we can uphold and build each other up, that we can share our experiences with each other to help each other not go through the same things we've gone through. If you know another woman that may need this content or need this video, but you don't have the courage to talk to her, forward this to her so she can understand and get a better idea of looking at it from a different perspective as how important it is to not lose herself as a wife and a mom. Make sure you invest in your retirement. Have your husband do it for you if you're a stay-at-home mom. Have your name on every single thing, because we are rising dollar by dollar, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks again for watching.